Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. It's the end of the week, it's the final video of the week. If you're still here, thanks for checking all this spooky music out with me. I mean, not that I care. Whatever. This band's called Shining. It's like that horror movie, book, Stephen King, Shining. The song's called Fisheye. Let's see what they're up to. Alright, so we're starting in 7. I'd say 7-8 given the tempo. Lots of electronic ambient tones. We also got a lot of dissonance in there as well. It's a really unsettling atmosphere. Yeah, it almost sounds like random notes. It's definitely chromatic. What a wild shift. So we're still in 7. Lots of compression and I'd say gain on this whisper. Lots of tension being built up here.
We turn God's side, starting Fisheye. See my head, see my there.
Yeah, some very Keo vocals right there. Guitar just hanging on to that note. I can't tell if we've shifted to 4/4 or if we're still in 7 since everything is accented. Yeah, we're back to the 7 now. Okay, that was quite interesting, that's for sure. So it's noise rock with a heavy electronic aspect to it. Some very interesting vocal things going on. Lots of production on the vocals to get them to sound just the way that they want for this style. And drumming's wild. Composition is kind of all over the place as far as the song structure. Let's see. The atmosphere has a couple changes in it. It is a ride, and it's all paired with this extremely graphic horror imagery. Just a lot of gore and violence. It is a unsettling song by itself, and doubly so with the audio, with the video component. Um, so let's see, where do I want to touch on first? The songs in 7/8, almost all of it. It creates an almost natural feel to the song. There's several sections where I felt like I could kind of get into a 4/4 groove. Um, but it's just long enough. 7 is not like 3 or 5 where that's right around 4. It's a shorter gap of space. 7, I think, especially at this tempo, is long enough that you can feel the first 4 and think you're in 4, and then by the time that you get to the next group of 4, you're cut off a little early, and it allows you to kind of get swept off your feet at moments to feel like you're being tripped up. Whereas 3 or 5 pulses are, you recognize the change before you've got a chance to fit into that standard groove. This one, you get to feel the standard groove first, and then you get tripped up. And it also means that any time that we move to something even remotely different, where we might have to reassess the situation meter wise, you're again going to feel like, hey, maybe we've gone to 4. Maybe we've gone to something that's more standard than the 7. And every time they're going to change it up, just like when they went to the noisy section, I don't know what to call it. The drummer was accenting every downbeat, snare and bass kick, and maybe even I think it might have been the hi-hat. Every single downbeat, there was no landmarks in the music to figure out bars or phrasing to the lines. I'm still not sure what it was because of that. It could have been in 1/1 for all, or 1/4 for all I know. Um, but I'm not sure if it's in 4 or 7. I would have to count the entirety of the section and see how many beats we had for the entire thing and figure out how best that would subdivide based on maybe the guitars or the keyboard, maybe what the vocals are doing, because the drums are just giving no indication. But given that the entirety of the song other than that is in 7, I'm going to wager that it's also in 7. It's just easier to write that way, especially since they're not providing any indication to a time signature anyways, so why change it? But so yeah, we have 7/8. It's enough to feel safe at moments and question the safety in other moments. It provides an unsettlingness because sometimes you can find footing and sometimes it feels like the footing is gone. There's also a lot of tension created in the music. We have a ton of chromatic playing in here, or we could say atonality. It's just whenever you play in a key dictates what notes you should play to achieve the color or the characteristics of the key. Chromatic means it's all keys or no keys, however you want to look at it, but there's no rules about what note should be played. Just pick whatever you want. And so, at least to me, it feels like with the keyboardist, a lot of the time we really are, or at least it's perceived by me, that we're getting a ton of random notes. Sometimes they're going up, sometimes they're going down. I can't really see any sort of flow pattern to range choices. The notes seem to have randomness in their spacing, which is what I just talked about, but also randomness in their relationship to each other. There's a lot of notes that just really don't work well played against each other, and they're played that way anyways, and it creates a lot of dissonance. So we have a lack of sort of direction or flow in the keyboard melody lines, and we also have a lack of cohesion harmonically in the keyboard, and it creates this exceptionally tense and disjointed and unsettling feeling just from that. So time signature and one instrument, and our entire vibe is already crafted right here at the start. The other thing that we had was a bass or a guitar playing an extremely low note, kind of filling out a foundational role while just being super distorted as well. It provides a bit of a menacing undertone to everything. So in the first bar of the song, bam, thesis statement. This is what the song's going to be about. It's menacing. It's scary in a sense. It is tense. It's unsettling. And there's going to be moments where you feel like maybe the worst part is past and it's going to trip you up all over again. Done. First bar. Settled. And I've mentioned before, I love songs that do this. There's definitely a craft and a reason to obscure the themes for a song, but there's also times when a thesis statement, a thesis measure, or a thesis phrase is really going to help sell your song. We talked about this with Lorna Shore earlier this week, really laying down what the song was going to be in the opening moments. These guys nailed it. Everything about these opening moments tell you everything you need to know about this song. So we move from that, we bring in the rest of the band, the drums come in, the singer comes in, and it is this super compressed whisper. I'd say there's some sort of boost or gain done on it as well to bring it up. It is at about a volume of speaking voice, but it's definitely not speaking sound. So we're getting some unsettlingness there because it's not human to whisper at such a volume. Something's off there. And then of course we have the hyper compression on it, which makes it sound like it's coming out of a radio or a PA system. And it's just, there's just something very unnatural about it. Not to mention, I don't know what he's saying, but there's a lot of repetition of these numbers. 1357, as far as I could tell, get repeated a lot in almost a sort of mantra, hyper-focused kind of manner. And at least to me, they're seemingly unimportant. I can't see the connection between them and anything else. The song's called Fisheye. Don't know what that has to do with these numbers. And at least for me, it makes it a little bit more unsettling because in his mind, he has a connection with these, at least to me, it's just a series of odd numbers. He understands them to be a code for something and I don't. And the way that he's repeating them, and the fact that they seem to be so important to him that he even has an epiphany at one point. His voice changes from just like a 1357 to a 1357, and he's like starting to realize more about it, and I'm still lost. And his demeanor and the way that he's presenting himself visually, as well as his vocal delivery, it all ties. Every single part of the song oozes this sort of uncomfortability. It's actually done at a very high level for such a simple song, but I think it's simple. What is it? What's that term? When it looks simple, but it's deceptively simple. There is a lot of simplicity to what's on the paper. What music would we put on a score, sheet music, but there's a lot of work that goes into the production and some other elements that are not the music itself. Sounds, textures, tones. A lot of it is coming together to really sell a specific specific style of music here, specific atmosphere. Oh, I forgot about that random, really quick thing that happened between the intro and the first verse where the vocals came in. We shifted to, I don't even know, it was like a bar, maybe 2 bars of just these 16th notes, just like blurted out, prog metal style. We just shifted into this, did this thing, and then shifted back out to what we were doing, keeping me on my toes. Get that unsettling, you're not safe kind of feeling. Nothing is safe. That's the clipping song we checked out this week, I think. Pretty sure that's what it was called. Yeah, Nothing is Safe. Fits for this song too. So yeah, we do that, and then the vocals begin to become a little more unhinged, I would say. There's a lot less focus on this whisper. The music is growing in intensity. There's more dissonance being applied to it. The sounds are getting a little wider. The drums are getting more intense, and the vocals are moving from this whisper into a note, an actual vocal cord vibrating sound rather than just the airiness of a whisper. And then, of course, there's that transitory section where that voice is transformed into a very shrill scream. And I said these are very Rio vocals. And what I mean by that is the vocalist of Deer and Gray, Rio. Rio? Name sounding weird now. I might be wrong on that. Anyways, he has an extremely wide range of vocal harshes, and these almost like whistle tone fries are something that I kind of associate with him. It's probably just because that was the first. Oh, Keo, not Rio. It's Keo. I knew I was right, but it sounded weird. Keo. Um, yeah, that sort of like super shrill, almost. I still think that it's a uh, whistle singing with a scream in it, with distortion on it. But here they might have just used a lot of the compression because there's a ton of compression on the vocals here. Um, and it creates a super crunchy and sort of pinpoint vocal style that cuts through everything else in the song. It's wild. And then, of course, the last bit of the song is more of this repetitious chanting mantra kind of stuff. A bunch of words. I'm not understanding. It seems to be a bunch of numbers followed up by the word fisheye. But it's all done in increasingly distorted and compressed vocal styles with more intensity of the song coming up. And then, like I said, there's also that moment in the middle where we enter a point where it feels free time because every beat is accented, so there's no landmarks to kind of give the feel of a groove or a time feel. And it sort of, at least to me, it feels weightless. It's like the gravity got turned off, and I'm just slowly starting to rotate. And then when we come back in on that 7/8, it's like being slammed back down. Nothing is safe in this song. To pull from clipping again. Um, yeah, and that's pretty much the whole track right there. It's like I said, it's rather simple, but it's deceptively simple. There's a lot of little elements, little nuances going on that make sure that the song hits the way it's supposed to, the way that they want it to, that it feels and sounds the way they want, while also not coming off as anything too difficult to get. They want anybody who listens to this to understand the vibe and emotion they're going for. And that's where a lot of the simplicity comes from. It's there to disguise some of the more technical aspects that they're utilizing so that you can focus in on the vibe, the atmosphere, the feelings of tension and dread, rather than focusing on more technical aspects. Which here I am focusing on some of the more technical aspects. Mission failed. Those are my thoughts, though, on Shining's Fisheye. This is where you guys come in, though. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know if you enjoyed this one or not. I think it was a pretty good one to end the week on. I had mentioned that we checked out a lot of fun, spooky stuff. I think this is one of the first ones I feel that really dives into horror. Other than, what was that? The Tala song, I think really dived into horror as being a really aggressive song with like a violent, murderous, scary element to it rather than the spooky stuff that we kind of checked out with Satan, The Satanist by Behemoth, and Ghost Clipping, Avenged Sevenfold. They all have like horror themes, but not scariness, not fear or fright. And I think this one kind of dives into more horror ideas both in the music and in the visuals. So yeah, I think this was a good way to end it. We had a fun week, and we just kind of went hard in this last one. Anyways, hit me up in the comments. Let me know stuff. Let me know any context about this. anything you might enjoyed, anything you didn't enjoy, yada yada yada. Description box, link tree, link menu stuff in there. Discord, Twitter, Patreon, email, like, subscribe, or ring the bell. I'll be back not tomorrow. We got this weekend coming up. Take some time to catch up on any videos you might have missed, or just, you do you. Spend the weekend with loved ones, or spend the weekend by yourself if you've had enough of people over the week. Write some music, listen to some music, veg out and watch TV or play video games. Whatever, it's your weekend, man. If you wanna put me in your weekend and check out some videos, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. Yeah, Monday. Monday is a retrospective week because next Saturday, I think it's next Saturday. Boom, 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 boom. Next Saturday is the 2-year anniversary of Critical Reactions. Officially marks, we've been doing this for 2 years. Over 500 bands, over 600 videos. We broke 60 themes, I think, last week. Actually, I think this week is, last week I think was theme 60. This is week, theme 61, or something like that. I don't know anymore. A lot of numbers I try to keep in my head. But yeah, we're going to be celebrating a bit. We're going to be looking back at some old reactions I've done and see if I have a different outlook on the songs. So we are going to look at some songs we've already looked at. It's not going to be first time reactions, but it's going to be stuff that I was harsher on or didn't quite get at the time, and having listened to more of the genre and also just kind of being more proficient at this analysis thing, live on the go analysis, just having more experience doing this, maybe I can pull some more information out of these songs or appreciate them on a different level, or maybe even enjoy them for some of the stuff that might have just been too heavy for me at the time. So we're going to be doing that next week. All right, until next time, remember to be critical but not cynical of the music you listen to. Have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you choose to watch my videos.